Some shots require a lot more preparation than others. Let me walk you through everything that went into this opening shot for our ad with Talkatoo.
Talkatoo is cutting documentation time in half for veterinary professionals. And now, with Verified by Talkatoo, just talk and we'll handle the rest.
We wanted to open with something intriguing that also followed the style and energy of the rest of the ad. We knew there would be lots of motion throughout with whip transitions between scenes, so we decided to flip the axes of that motion for the opening shot. I knew the maneuver could be accomplished with a big jib arm, but figured we could build something with a smaller footprint that was a little bit easier to operate. Our DP, Paul, and I got to work drawing it out on paper before building the real thing. But before we could nail down the specifics of the camera rig, a lot needed to happen to ensure the studio was set up and running. We hired a contractor and painter to build and assemble our studio flats that would make up the different environments for the ad. We also sourced custom paint to match the client's brand colors, and Rachel and Will got to work sourcing and spray painting other set decoration items to match. Controlling light is one of the key benefits of having our own studio, but it does require quite a bit of equipment to ensure that the artificial light looks and feels natural. We flew a 20 by 20 foot fabric over top of the whole set and sent some lights down through it to create our ambient light, or room tone. This gives us some flexibility in how we shape the light on our subject and environment. We also knew we would end up seeing the studio floor during the first part of the opening shot, so we sourced some vinyl flooring to make it feel like a more natural office environment. We put the office desk in place and got to work decorating it so everything felt like it was in the right place without feeling too staged, for both the top-down and straight-on frames. From there, it was time to reassemble the rotating camera rig that Paul and I designed and tested a few days prior. I'll spare the details, but we essentially needed to build something that was extremely stiff, rotated freely without gaining too much momentum, and all of the supports needed to stay out of the field of view of the shot. This required about 20 sandbags on the two stands, a kettlebell for counterweight. Thanks, Rachel. Lots of metal pipe and clamps, and some very precise pivot practice for Paul and I. Pivot! The final details came together when we locked in the timing and action of the opening shot, having the talent motivating the camera pivot with the opening of her laptop. Paul was on standby, ready to catch the camera, unlock the pan axes on the tripod head, and whip out of the shot into the next scene. It was challenging but also really fun to take an unconventional approach for the opening shot, and we're stoked with the final outcome. Let's check it out.
Talkatoo is cutting documentation time in half for veterinary professionals. And now, with Verified by Talkatoo, just talk and we'll handle the rest. That means no more time wasted editing and sorting your own notes. Simply record a note on your phone and that's it. Your note is then uploaded to the Verified by Talkatoo portal, where it's processed using Talkatoo's powerful AI. From there, your notes are sent to a real human scribe, who reviews and amends the text before dropping it into your practice management software. All Talkatoo scribes are trained veterinary professionals, which means your notes are correct and complete every time. You got into veterinary care to help pets and their people, not because you're passionate about paperwork. Verified by Talkatoo users are eliminating documentation time and saving up to 2 hours a day. What would you do with all that extra time?